Hello Raquel, so this is a page 18. I believe this is ITS 9, the ITS 9 document I sent you the last time. And we have to find, so this is in academic writing, sentences with nouns are more common than sentences with verbs. For some verbs, the noun form is the same as a verb. Okay, so for example, in France, you can also make nouns from verbs by adding endings like ment, ion, ing. Okay, so we need to find the noun from the verb. To improve, an improvement. Let me just use text edit here. Okay, improvement. Okay, so here we have destroy, destruction. After we have shape, so it can be a shape. Okay, or it can be shaping. That's good as well. The shaping of I don't know, the sculpture. Uh, result, it's the same. After we have affect, it's an effect. Next we have to harm someone. Uh, we're not looking for the adverb, okay, so harm as well. Okay. Not the harm, but the harm. Let's be careful of the pronunciation of the, paying attention of the pronunciation of the H. Okay. To enhance, enhancement. So be careful, you can have like, it's very popular for women who wants a breast enhancement, like, to have a boob job is what we say in English. Boob job, okay. Breast enhancement. To promote, well, after it's promotion, okay. After, let me just go here, damage, well, it can be a damage as well. To, so you have different pronunciation for this one, but to ruin, okay, so a ruin. When somebody is failing financially after opening a business, we say to go bankrupt, okay, to be ruined. Production, to foster, remember what we said about the foster kids, okay, foster child, foster parents. So to foster, yeah, or fostering. To advance, an advance, well, we can use that as well, or advancement. To deteriorate, deterioration. To achieve, achievement, okay. And the last one, to attract, attraction. Okay, so the only weird one is affect. That does not follow any of the same and similar previous patterns. Okay, so this is the first page we did. Now we have this one. Let me zoom in because I don't see a thing. So it's just like using over and over again. We need to rewrite the sentences with the three or four first sentences. The use of mobile phones is dramatically affecting the way we communicate. So we need to rewrite the sentences below so that they contain the verb in brackets or parentheses. Okay, make any other necessary changes. So we need to adapt the syntax. So demanding for fuel. The demand for fuel is bringing about the destruction of the way of life of the inhabitants of rainforests. So we need to use to destroy. So we can say the demand for fuel is destroying the way of life of the inhabitants of rainforest. Okay, we're not gonna keep all the of the. Number two, people constantly debate whether television has a positive or negative influence on society. People constantly, so we need to use influence, debate whether television influences society positively or negatively. So I repeat, people constantly debate whether television influences society positively or negatively. So you see, I'm dramatically changing the sentence here. Number three, the company restructuring will lead to a significant improvement in profits. So the company restructuring will improve profits significantly. Will improve profits significantly. Number four, climate change has led to the ruin of many crops or destruction. Climate change has ruined many crops. That's it. Okay. So we didn't do everything because it's quite repetitive. And here it's a common exercise you can find in on the exam. So number one, advertising companies increase sales through the promotion of goods on TV. Some pessimists argue the debate that human race love of technology will eventually cause the destruction of society. Here we can say the improvements or advancements. It's been going on all night long. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. I'm not under control of the cops. I don't know if it's the cops or something else. I don't know what's going on here. Improvements in technology have, yeah, it's the cops. Just don't pay attention to this kind of stuff usually. Improvements or advancements in technology have gathered pace in recent years as the speed of computers has increased. Number four, the greatest human achievement is invention of the wheel, not the computer. What is the attraction of the latest electronic gadgets for consumers, and why is the fostering or the shaping of new ideas so crucial for developing new products? So the listening part here, let me just move a bit. The listening section, you will hear monologue, one person speaking, but sometimes you may hear one person answering questions. The topic is usually general interest, and there can be 2 or 3 sets of questions. You will be given time to look at the questions before you begin and in the middle of the recording. Okay. At the end of the section, you will be given time to check your answers. Okay, this is done here. The next page, again, I need to zoom in. I don't believe we did this one. Something we can do the next time and correct, you know. But what we did, just go back to Safari. There we go. That's the transcript. You know, this is a I speaking sample 10. And they give you different tips here. So the part 1 is introduction and interview for 4 to 5 minutes. So here, number 1, give reasons for your answers, offer extra details, but not too much and not too many, and not too much information, not too many examples, what I meant. Use your own words when possible. Okay, so this is like some kind of a chat. Good morning, may I have a look at your passport? I'm not going to ask you this kind of stuff. Could you tell me your full name, please? So she's answering. All right, Hanako, in this first part, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about where you live. What kind of place is it? Okay, she lives in the UK, in Canterbury. It's most famous for its cathedral. It's quite a small town with lots of old buildings and green spaces. What do you like best about Canterbury? It's very peaceful and you can walk everywhere easily. What kinds of jobs, you see, you can also add an S, do people do in Canterbury? A lot of people work for the university, of course, and there are many new IT companies as well. It's booming everywhere. And would you say Canterbury is a good place to work in? Yes, it is, because there are plenty of opportunities. Now let's move on to sports. How much time do you spend playing or watching sports? Not very much, maybe a couple of hours a week. Which sports are the most popular in the UK? Football, soccer, cricket, and rugby. Hmm. Tea drinking. I don't know if it's a sport. I'm just joking. Actually, I read that fishing is the most popular hobby in the UK. I'm not sure if that's sport. Which sport did you do when you were at school? Be careful with the prepositions here. I played basketball at school because I was a giraffe at a young age, 6 feet tall at the age of 13. Jesus Christ. Do you think all children should do some sport? Yes, I think it's a good idea for children to learn to do some different physical activities. Through sports, they can learn about team working, achieving something through effort and skill. Right, now let's move on to food. Do you like cooking? No, not much, but I do like food. How often do you go to restaurants? Quite often, about twice a week on average. What kinds of restaurants do you enjoy eating in? I like restaurants that aren't too formal. I prefer the cozy kind, like relaxed kind. But it's very important to me that the food is fresh and healthy. What does a restaurant need to do to be successful? I think a good restaurant should change its menu fairly frequently and use food that is in season at the particular time of the year. Well, the second part here, we have individual long turn, 3 to 4 minutes. You must speak alone for between 1 to 2 minutes on the topic the examiner gives you. You have 1 minute to write some notes before you speak. The examiner tells you when to stop speaking. So here we have the most common one. So give you like some kind of a topic. Describe a shop that you enjoy going to. You need to say where it is, what it sells, and how often you go there, and explain why you enjoy visiting this shop. So I would say, I'll give an example, a personal example. Um, I like going to the bookstore. It can be Barnes and Nobles or any kind of bookstore really. And where it is, what's downtown, what it sells, books, how often you go there. Well, if I have time, maybe once a week, and explain why you enjoy visiting this shop. I love visiting this shop because I have access to different books, in different languages. It can be in Spanish, in English, in French, really in different languages. I can order whatever I want. There's a huge juridical section, and I like going to the library, but I really also like going to the bookstore, which is a shop, and I cannot talk about the library because it's not a store, it's not a shop. Okay, so I have to, you know, force myself to think differently here. But so where it is, you can. Here we have an example. I'm going to talk about a shop in Canterbury that I like going to. It's in the center of Canterbury and about 10 minutes walk from my house. It's Hotel Chocolat, and as you can imagine, sorry, it sells chocolate. It has a big range of chocolate-related products. You can choose from a variety of dark and milk chocolate flavors, including dark chocolate with espresso and milk chocolate with cherries, which are my favorites. So, she's giving a lot of examples, but she's not explaining a lot of stuff, okay? The smell is delicious and the chocolate is too. The shop also sells lots of different teas and teapots, coffee pots, cups, and saucers, as well as other nice things for your kitchen. It also sells a few very expensive and luxurious chocolate gifts. I tend to go there about once a week, normally on a Saturday, and I buy enough chocolate to last me for the next week. I enjoy going there not just because of the nice chocolate, but also because the lady who works there is very friendly. So that's my favorite shop. Okay. Do your friend like the shop too? So you can add an additional question or two, depending on how much time you have left, But yes, I do. It's a very popular place. Okay. The third part, the two-way discussion. So now you need to interact, So it's quite connected to the topic of part two. It's a discussion between you and the interviewer. So it can be any kind of question, it can be easy or hard, difficult. And here is going off a bit. It's still related to shops, but not quite so. We've been talking about a shop that you're enjoying going to, and I'd like to discuss with you one or two more general questions related to this. Let's consider, first of all, developments in shopping. Are there certain kinds of shop that are becoming more popular? So she's answering, what disadvantages do you think there may be to an increase in consumerism? For me, one of the main disadvantages is that increased consumerism seems to emphasize the difference between rich and poor people. Also, another disadvantage is that many people already work too hard, and with increasing consumerism, they drive themselves harder and harder just to make money to buy things they don't actually need and have time to enjoy or have time to enjoy. In what ways do you think advertising affects people's attitude? The more advertising there is, the more people seems to want, and then are they never satisfied with, and they never satisfied with what they've got. They are never satisfied with what they got. She made a mistake here. I suppose it really depends. There is another mistake. It really depends. It's a simple present. What you mean by advertising. Some of it could be seen as socially useful, for example, anti-smoking advertising and campaigns, but we all know it doesn't work. In what ways? Yeah, it works, but when you live in America, in some places in Canada, you have the smoking alarm, so people cannot really smoke indoors, and it's quite a social accepted behavior where tobacco is quite disgusting. So many people, well, they smoke something else, but they don't want to smoke tobacco. In what ways do you think shopping may change in the future? Well, I'm sure there will be an increasing online shopping because more and more people have access to home computers. I also think that many small shops in the center of town will close down and bigger supermarkets will open on the outskirts. In some ways, it may be more convenient, but I don't know if these changes will really improve our lives. Thank you, Hanako. Your speaking test is over now. You can enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you. I hope you have a good weekend too. Okay. And we also did this section. Trying to be under 30 minutes with QuickTime because after it's very hard to register everything. So no more than 3 words. We need to fill in everything. Okay. So of course you can see the answers. You can hide the answers. And the idea is to do the test yourself. You can listen to the stuff. I think you heard it.
Section 1. You will hear a woman calling an insurance company to report an accident. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7.
So first, we check the questions, which are not questions. We need to fill in the blanks. That's it. Okay, so we have 7 blanks. We can show the answers. Okay, and you just have to wait. You can take your time. It's still playing, don't worry. I think so.
You will see that there is an example which has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Rawlings Insurance. Good morning, can I help you?
Oh, hello. I'm ringing to report an accident.
A car accident?
Yes.
Just hold the line a moment, please. I'm putting you through to our motor insurance department.
The insurance company representative is putting the client through to the motor insurance department, so motor insurance has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
Rawlings Insurance. Good morning, can I help you?
Oh, hello. I'm ringing to report an accident.
A car accident?
Yes.
Just hold the line a moment, please. I'm putting you through to our motor insurance department. Hello?
Hello?
I understand you want to report an accident.
Yes, my car's been damaged. Someone came out in front of me.
Could I just check a few personal details before we go any further?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Your name, first of all.
It's Elizabeth Rickard.
Is that Rikard?
It's spelt with a C, not a K.
Oh, okay. And your date of birth, please.
It's the 8th of October, 1975.
And lastly, I just need to check your address.
Oh, actually, I moved house last month, so the street name's different. It's 60 Forest Road. I think you've got 22 Ash Avenue on your records.
I have, so I'll just make a note of that. That's fine. And is that in the same town still, Callington?
That's right.
Right. Now, do you have your insurance policy in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Can you give me the policy number, please? It's at the top.
Oh, yes. 50924?
It's in a box. It should start with letters.
Oh, CZ8809?
That's the one. And now I want to ask you about the accident itself. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
First of all, did it happen today?
No, it happened yesterday evening, but by the time I got home it was late, so I didn't call.
That's not a problem. So, let's see. Today's the 13th of September, so it happened on the 12th. Is that right?
It is.
Do you know approximately what time the accident occurred?
Oh dear, I wasn't wearing a watch and I was a bit shocked, but I'd say it was between 8:15 and 8:45.
That's okay. I'll just record that it happened at about 8:30. It doesn't matter exactly. And I don't suppose you've got any supporting evidence, have you? I mean, witness statements, that kind of thing.
I don't have witness statements, I'm afraid, but I've got a police report. They came and measured up and checked the marks on the road, but unfortunately nobody else was around at the time of the accident.
Any hospital report?
No,
So I take it you don't have any medical problems then? Any injuries?
only minor ones. It was mainly the car that got damaged, luckily.
Absolutely. But we do recommend that you have a checkup anyway, within 24 hours if possible.
Yes, okay, I'll make an appointment today.
Fine. And now, can you tell me what happened exactly? I'm going to make a few notes.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 8 to 10.
Okay, so you can write the answers as you listen to the recording, is what I wanted to say before, didn't have time. And here we have a diagram, and she's here. The car who created the accident, who provoked the accident, he's here, well, basically. So we need to look for the traffic lights, the petrol station or the gas station, and the blue van. The blue van is a guy
Listen and
came
answer
that came
questions 8 to 10.
from the other side.
I was driving home from the swimming pool and
I don't know Callington at all, so could you describe it for me? Where did the accident happen?
on the road between Newtown and Callington. I was driving from Newtown, heading towards Callington, and
Okay, just let me draw the road layout. Right. Okay.
when you leave Newtown, there's a sharp bend in the road, and then there's a railway bridge.
Okay.
And then about half a kilometre further on, there's a crossroads with traffic lights. And I was just in between the two when it happened.
Here.
I wasn't going very fast. In fact, I definitely
So
slowed.
you'd already gone over the bridge?
Yes, and I passed the park, that's on the right hand side, and I was just approaching the petrol station.
Where's that then?
It's a bit further along on the opposite side.
So on your near side then?
Yes. As I was approaching it, I saw a blue van coming towards me. The driver had stopped in the middle of the road.
Was he indicating?
Yes, he was waiting to turn into the petrol station, but then at the last minute he decided to turn right in front of me. He must have thought he had enough time, but I had to swerve to avoid him, and I came off the road and landed in a ditch on the opposite side.
And that's him. He was trying to turn
Suppose
here.
he stopped, did he?
Oh, yes, he came over to see if I was okay, but he tried to say it was my fault, and there wasn't anyone.
There you go. So we need to
That
locate.
is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, we can stop here. And so they just need three answers, okay? So we need to locate the traffic lights, G or A, okay? But we are looking forward. So we are gonna locate, we're gonna say it's G. That was a bridge here. I think it was some kind of a bridge or something. After the gas station, he didn't see because it was trying to turn towards the gas station. He thought he had enough time, but he didn't. She had to avoid him. So C, and the blue van is D logically. Okay, so he was trying to turn. She was not going too fast, and there you go. So you have the approximate distance. That's it. You also have the transcript here. Okay, you have everything you can check. You have the link on Skype. Okay, if you need to take a look at the link, and that's pretty much it for the last recording. So I'll see you tomorrow early morning. I know it's this week you have to take the exam. I'd say, just work on the listening part. Make sure you can understand everything. We can keep working on that. I believe I ask you to also take a look at section 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so take a look quickly right now. You always have an audio file, no more than 3 words. You have different questions, etc., etc. And it's all about the vocabulary, just paying attention to what you hear, what you read, what you see. And also, you can also mimic the vocabulary you've been going through on the first part of the exam and reusing it to the speaking part. Okay? You have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, Happy New Year. Take care.